Alright, ebusuafo for mu nyama kwa basonko so eba Ghana Politics Avenue. Aha NAGH Politics Avenue. Aha na hope all the trending podcast stories in Ghana. Onsa betumi aka na ebusuane sema ya bo ne bede a ya de bram down ye tiefo ne ahwefo ne ye efa OSP nsensem eye OSP bon dwumako bi kwa adu e wo court na obon nkofo ne kwa adu wo court na nkofo ndi akotu court nanim se OSP ni tumi krata na so OSP enya krata tumi mfratani je no so obobo mo sa akwa adu na court ni ye hwehwemu na eye no kore OSP ni krata e free attorney general e so tumi bo sa akwa adu na we na court akache OSP se OSP ni kwan bia e so do bidna court na emremu no on sem fata se odi amanfo bidna court anim ebo mo kwa adu na we hu sensem bai na amanfo chese grand scheme na ze grand scheme na OSP no akufo ado no onim we na wanya na nado wa messy up na ensem bebrebe na amanfo chichi na we na video man no tututum na we na ebopuni deputy attorney general Dr. Justice Simsai ene hwenkomo na o chiremu yise OSP bitima prosecute na answer na OSP bitima prosecute jise oba attorney general ho ebeji tu mikrata na OSP ya na adwen se ono de omba attorney general ho ne no abo ho china abeji tu mikrata e de prosecute the prosecution or prosecute na so wanye sa so de a ene ultimate prosecute mumienko nyenko tie nchiremu wa bra deputy attorney general Dr. Justice Simsai edesemi tu dwa wa bra no ni TV3 for H3 enkomo Ghana Politics 7 Agyebeng Politics 7 opo the trending podcast stories in Ghana ya na so come nyenko tie Dr. Justice Simsai e ba de obi a san beche
colleague Eric Mayonegbeta sat with him exclusively, the Deputy Attorney General, to get a bit more detail into what has been happening so far. But here's what we do know when it comes to the Special Prosecutor's performance over the period. About 100+ cases currently under active investigation. This is what we got from the Special Prosecutor's own half-year report that it has been putting out or publishing as the law demands, and we'll put it on the screen right now. There are 33 persons that are currently facing trial, and there are 78 criminal charges that have been filed, for instance, in the Kenofriata and others case. Now, what this essentially means, if what we understand is anything to go by, all of these 100+ cases currently under investigation, under active investigation, would be, that is, if the Deputy Attorney General's indication that he gave is that in the coming days, the Attorney General would begin processes to take over all the cases being prosecuted by the Special Prosecutor. Then what you're seeing here now would be under the umbrella or the remit of the Attorney General. But this also brings up other questions which we're going to be getting some answers to. When it comes to the number of persons who are standing trial, 33 of them. Now, there are civil proceedings, about 10 counts, and then also there are ongoing investigations, 79 counts as we speak, and just about 7 convictions secured so far. And there's persons who criticize the office by pointing to the 9 years that the office has been in existence, and just about 7 convictions have been secured so far. But the Office of Special Prosecutor has always been consistent in mounting the defense as to the other things that they are doing as well, and the office to ensure that the office is achieving its set objectives. But that's the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Simsai, has debunked assertions that the Office of the Attorney General wants to take over the cases of the Special Prosecutor's Office. Well, amongst other things, he indicates that the OSP ought to seek authorization to prosecute, as has been the case for other security agencies. He's also dispelled allegations of turf war between the AG's office and the Special Prosecutor's Office. Now, the matter of authorization, he says that the Special Prosecutor has effectively refused to come to the Attorney General for authorization for cases, instead of the Attorney General rather being called to then issue a fiat in this instance. He says that per the law, it is the Special Prosecutors that has to come to the Attorney General for authorization. Let's take a listen to him, and we'll get into other matters as this issues plays out, and we'll be joined by a private legal practitioner as well. Take a look.
There's been instances where the agencies, other state agencies, law enforcement agencies that we give fiat to prosecute cases have been questioned. I remember one was on SEPS. You know, Custom Excise and Preventive Service.
Giving them a fiat to be able to prosecute.
Yes, so that was, they used to be called SEPs, now they are part of GRA. At the time they were SEPs, they had a fiat to prosecute. But when the legislative review came and they became part of GRA, GRA is now a new legal entity. They were prosecuting someone who said that they didn't have a fiat. They were trying to say that they had a fiat when they were SEPs or something. But now they don't have it. The courts decided in that case that since you don't have the fiat, you couldn't, Recently there was a couple of cases like that. So this is just a normal thing that happens if you are, of course, if you are being prosecuted and you have any doubt as to who the authority of the person prosecuting you, I think you are entitled to, as it were, challenge it. And that's what the person did. We were not aware of this case. That's the Office of the Attorney General. Personally, I don't even know this accused person. This file has never come to our office. We, just like everyone else, got to know of the decision that the court has ordered that we should go and take over the cases on grounds that the OSP was not able to show that they have authorization from the Attorney General, contrary to their own act. So the case that happened in the High Court had nothing to do with constitutional interpretation. Because the act, I don't know if you have looked at the act, but the act specifically says that, subject to Article 88, the OSP will prosecute based on the authorization of the Attorney General. That's what the legislation says. So the person is saying that if you are prosecuting me, then you should show your authority note upon which you are prosecuting. That the OSP was not able to show. So the court...
Right, to the extent that a similar matter is currently before the Supreme Court, and in the criminal jurisdiction of the High Court, that judge had stayed their hand, deferring on to the Supreme Court to make a decision. Many will say the general jurisdiction could have stayed its hand as well. Yes, that doesn't fall within your remit, but
yeah,
in terms of what played out.
In terms of what, I don't have the full record, but what I know is that the mere pendency of a similar matter in the Supreme Court does not operate as a stay to any court that is deciding. It is good if the court is aware, or it has been brought to the court's attention, and the judge decides that, well, I will wait. That is fine. Even if a judge knows and decides that I won't wait, I will make my decision, it doesn't invalidate the decision itself. Yet you may question the judge's discretion as to whether to wait or not, especially when I have no evidence that it was brought to the judge's attention and he was prayed to stay. But be that as it may, like I said, we were not parties to the case, so we didn't know what happened. The decision has been made, and we have been asked to order to do certain things. So we just have to do it. Why would someone interpret this as we are in a hurry to take over the cases of the special prosecutor?
In reading the orders of the High Court, which has now become the subject of the conversation, yes, he ordered that the AG takes over the cases pending authorization to the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Precisely.
Many will say that should be of concern to the Attorney General, given that authorization for that matter to proceed.
It is
instead of.
It is of concern to us.
The decision to want to openly come out and state that, okay, we're taking over, and no mention at all as to
no. What I put out yesterday did not say that we are taking over cases.
In the coming days. I
said we'll take steps to give effect to the decision of the court, right? So, like you said, we should be concerned because as far as we know, all prosecutions in the country is being done in our name. So if we are there and the court says that there is this number of cases because the OSP doesn't have power to prosecute and is prosecuting, we should take over. Do you want us to spend 1 month thinking about what to do, or you'll be interested? Like you said, we should be concerned. And my understanding of concern means that we should do something to remedy the situation. That is what we are going to do. So why would someone interpret that to mean we are in a hurry to take over the cases? So the point I'm trying to make is that I appreciate I won't call it propaganda, the misinformation out there. Because yesterday I was speaking with someone who said, it was actually a radio, presentation. Somebody said the AG went to court to ask that the OSP be sacked, which, first of all, we didn't go to court. We were not even aware of this case. So
we'll go to the aspect of conversation surrounding whether or not this is a grand scheme of some sort, particularly in relation to the matter before the Supreme Court. But on the subject matter of authorization, where have we been in the past in terms of the work that has been done by the special prosecutor up until now? Because there's an argument that's been made that the former Attorney General, Gloria Kufu, took the bill for the creation of the office to Parliament. By that singular act, it became a delegation of some sort of the prosecutorial powers.
Okay, that clearly is a misunderstanding of how the lawmaking process works and how law actually works. It's a total misunderstanding of it. When you send a bill to Parliament, okay, you are not the owner of the law that comes out. You are neither the author of the law that comes out. You are not the lawmaker. So a private person who takes a bill, there are two pathways to sending a bill to Parliament. One that will be sent by a private member and one that will be sent by the government. Whichever way the bill goes to Parliament, once Parliament does the first reading, it is entirely Parliament's creature. Parliament is the one responsible for the bill. So Parliament that's because Parliament can change the bill, anything in the bill, including the memorandum, can change anything and pass a bill that you may not even be interested in anymore, but they will pass the bill. And that is why there is another provision that when the bill is passed, the president should give his assent, because it is a recognition of the understanding that you taking the bill to Parliament does not mean that you are the one, you have the final say. So if Parliament has finished with this process, then the president will give his assent. The giving of the assent itself is not an authorization. It's not the fact, it doesn't mean that the president is making the bill or he's just saying that this bill, I agree that it has been made. Thirdly, it doesn't matter how all this went. Otherwise, if that's the case, then we can never declare any law unconstitutional. The fact that it has gone through the legislative process and has come out as law doesn't mean that it is sacrosanct. If it were, then there shouldn't be any provision in Article 2 which says that when a law is made contrary to them, you can strike it out. So the argument that because the AG participated in the lawmaking process, it is neither here nor there as far as law is concerned. Maybe for other areas of thought and discipline, maybe that matters. But as far as law is concerned, and my understanding of law doesn't tell me that when you participate in the lawmaking process, whatever comes out, then you are deemed to be the maker of the law. The law can come out, in fact, you can even comply with the law, and what you have done in accordance with the law will be nullified. Right. So it is not one of the arguments that carries weight as far as this conversation is concerned. It has no merit as far as the issue is concerned.
So since the assent to that OSP Act in 2018, there has not been any executive instrument from the Attorney General's office giving authorization? As
far as I know, there's no executive instrument to authorize the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And indeed, I think the case we just discussed gave the opportunity to the OSP, because they were parties to the case. So if they had such instrument, they would have presented it. And if they had any argument to make, whether legal, like even including the one you just put to me, that the participation of the Attorney General in the whole process should be deemed to have been authorization. If they had any such argument, definitely they would have put it before the court. And if they put it before the court and the court weighs it and decides that that is not it, it is not for me to decide. That is why we are saying that the court has heard the matter, he has made orders, we're not parties, but the orders were directed, at us that we should do something. We cannot disobey the court, neither can we ignore the court and sit down unconcerned. It's a serious matter because we are talking of corruption, we are talking of justice, we are talking of human rights here. We can't sit down and say, that would be irresponsible for us to sit down and think that because we're not parties to the case or because of some other consideration, we will not take any steps. So we will definitely take steps to remedy the situation.
In taking the steps, and we're talking authorization, because it doesn't look like its powers to investigate and all of that has come up.
No, it's just the prosecutorial.
It's just a prosecutorial.
Yeah.
Why haven't you granted that in the wake of all of this? There are those who say we're waiting on the office to write to you before you issue that.
Yeah. There is a process for issuing the EI. You can't sidestep the process and see. And in any case, okay, let's grant it. Let's assume that there's even no process. What is wrong if the OSP writes to seek authorization? Is that not, if you want to drive, do you sit at home for DVLA to come and look for you and give you a driver's license? Don't you take steps? If you want electricity in your house, the fact that you want electricity, ECG needs your money. They know you need electricity, but don't you take steps to apply for the connection to be done? So, and is it so difficult to apply? If it's not difficult, why is the application not being made? Why is the question always to the AG that we should rather, so we should go, and when you apply for EI, you have to show that you are giving the EI to this person, because the person who is doing the prosecution, not the office. Office is not the one, is the human being who is a lawyer who is doing the prosecution. So that is how is there any reason why you think that the application should not be made? And why do you think they are not making the application?
That feeds into perceptions that there are simmering tensions between the OSP and the Attorney General's office. As
far as I know, there is no tension between us. I mean, we've been collaborating, and a lot for that matter. So, and the collaboration, it's not everything that we can put out. I hope you understand, because we are law enforcement agencies. There are so many things that we can discuss, but we can't put out. But I am not aware of any tension. Neither am I aware of any fight between the OSP. Other agencies are always. Recently, Gold Board applied for executive instrument to prosecute NACOC. So they are all applying. I don't know, unless there is a reason why the OSP will not apply. But if OSP applies and we say we will not grant, I think then you can say that you can question us, why are you not granting?
Well, so that's Dr. Justice Adam Sremsai there with that conversation with my colleague Eric Mawana Egbeta on this. That point,
the way forward, I don't know how you can prevent it. It all depends on the condition of the pilot, if he's obeying flight rules or not. The end result is that you'll kill yourself. And that's all. You can't have a standard way out regarding to every flight a pilot was undertaken.
When Commander Patrick Sobojo retired, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight with your thoughts and expertise on this matter. We'll wait up until May 29 to get the full complement of the investigation into this crash of the light aircraft in Tema. But there's more of this you can find on 3news.com. Tomorrow morning, I'm here with the rest of the team and my guests on the key point. We're discussing two matters. First, the happenings regarding the interventions that government has put in place to cushion Ghanaians against the increasing price of petroleum products at the pumps. And then now the development that the Strait of Hormuz has been opening to commercial vessels to, as it were, carry the various consignments of crude oil that they have on board. How would that impact on the state of affairs in Ghana? How long would that take? We'll be finding out from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies as well. We would have the CEO join us, Dr. Rivers Senopong. We'll also have an official from the Energy Ministry, it's a private legal practitioner as well, Richmond Roxon.
All right, I did with the Munila Agyebeng, not Modiati, and then Modishaye, said that I Ghana Politics Avenue, in short, GH Politics Avenue. Hana open all the trending podcast stories in Ghana unsa betumi aka na ne de dika abacha na yiso wada ro mani de no obo kwanze be subscribe to channel no subscribe wi na afei notification bell no odo unsa boso odo unsa bo notification bell se be ya video ni video afro bia de ba be dum bia no unsa betumi aka bi no hu de ekoso Ghana amanwesem ene yeka bi mamin ka bi amamu ni so na afei so uwia video de ba dum mi so ni je ho na wa like na wa share ama afoforo so anya bi like na wa share ama afoforo so anya bi we like and share ama afoforo so anya bia na for comment section so let us know what you think, share your thoughts and your ideas there ni na ini sa so na on small we ni hu de bit my abo ama Ghana your politics ya manu sem ni ka mmemi ka bia mamu no akoso da mu na masema de bre na mu de tie ye Ghana politics avenue Agyebeng politics avenue da mu na masema de bre tie yakram